A few years from now, your life is going to look a lot like the habits you're practicing today. Not the intentions, not the big plans, not the things you keep saying you're going to do someday, but your life is going to look like the things you repeatedly do when nobody's watching. And so when I look back over my life so far, especially the things I started doing in my 30s and 40s, there are 5 habits that changed everything for me. They didn't change my life overnight. They didn't feel dramatic at the time, and they didn't come with any applause, that's for sure. But they quietly built something. They built strength, stability, confidence, options, and eventually freedom. So today, I want to talk to you about 5 habits that changed my life and how the right habits today can make the rest of your life better. Not only that, but I'm going to make it really easy for you to learn how to start doing each of these. You with me? All right, let's get to it. Welcome to another episode of the Leading Life Podcast, where we talk practical wisdom for leadership and life. I'm your host, Andy Zook, and I've learned that leadership is about how we show up for people, how we navigate change, and how we continue growing. Right now on today's episode, 5 small disciplines that changed my life. Welcome to the Leading Life Podcast, where we talk about what it takes to grow, lead, and live with purpose. I'm your host, Andy Zook, and each episode is designed to give you simple, real-world tools to help you show up as your best self in work and in life. Because when you lead yourself well, you're going to inspire others to do the same. And I want to give you the tools that help you be stronger at leading, the psychology behind it, and that leadership edge to be even more effective at whatever you do. Let's build greatness together. Today's episode is personal for me because when I look at where I am now in my life, I can clearly see something that I didn't just arrive here, I didn't just get lucky, and I didn't stumble into every good thing around me. Yes, life has had unexpected turns. Everybody gets hit with things they didn't ask for, so have I, and there are things we can't control. I have been through that a million times. But a lot of peace, freedom, confidence, and stability came today from things I started doing years ago. And that's what I want younger people to hear, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s, or 40s. You are not just living today. You are building for later. You are building the version of yourself that your future family will live with. You are building the health your future body will carry. And you are building the financial habits your future self will either thank you for or you'll be trapped by. And you are building the mindset that will either free you or keep you stuck. Here's the thing. Most of the habits that change your life do not feel life-changing while you're doing them. They're boring. They're repetitive. Of course, they're uncomfortable and inconvenient. They feel like discipline, and nobody likes the word discipline. But discipline repeated long enough eventually becomes your freedom. And we think freedom means doing whatever we want whenever we want. But freedom really is built by doing what we need to do before we ever feel like doing it. So today, I want to walk you through 5 habits that changed my life. I'm not sharing these like I've been perfect. I haven't. I've made mistakes. I've wasted a ton of time in my youth. I've eaten the wrong things. I've spent money I probably shouldn't have spent. And I've had seasons where I talked bigger than I executed. But these 5 habits changed the direction of my life for the better. And they brought me to where I am today. So if you start building them now, you can change yours too. All right. Habit number 1. I started training my body like it mattered. I think I was at home office in 2013. I just ate whatever I want, how much I wanted, and drank more beer than I probably should have. And I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, how did I get here? The first habit that I needed to change was taking care of myself and started to work out consistently. And it's not just casually, but more intentionally and taking it more seriously. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to train like, an athlete. I'm not saying you need to spend 2 hours a day at the gym. I'm not saying you need to become obsessed with your body. But I'm saying this, your body matters. Your strength matters. Your energy matters. Your mobility matters. And your confidence matters. And the older you get, the more you realize that your body is not just something you live in, but it's a vehicle that's going to carry you for your whole life. So when I started training, I just started doing, a half-hour walk, maybe 20 minutes to a half hour at the gym. But I became physically stronger. I became mentally clear. And there's something powerful about keeping that promise to yourself. There is something powerful about walking into a gym when you don't feel like it and doing that work anyway. There's something powerful about sweating, pushing, lifting, walking, running, stretching, and reminding yourself, I'm not done. At the time you hear this episode, I'm 57 years old. I have fight in me like never before. I have endless energy in me. I have more to become. Fitness didn't just change my body. It changed how I carried myself through life. And let me be honest, when you train consistently, you begin to learn something deeper than exercise. You learn discipline. You learn patience. You learn progress is earned slowly. You learn that you don't build strength by thinking about strength. You build strength by showing up. One rep at a time, one walk at a time, one run at a time, one workout at a time. And this is where it connects to your leadership. Because if you can't lead yourself physically, it becomes harder to lead yourself emotionally. And if you are constantly tired, constantly sluggish, constantly uncomfortable in your own skin, it affects how you show up. But when you start taking care of yourself, your body, that vehicle, something shifts. You begin to respect yourself more. And when you respect yourself more, you tend to make better decisions in other areas too. This is why I believe working out is not just about fitness. It's about identity training. Think about it that way. Every time you train, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming, just like James Clear says. You are saying, I am someone who shows up. I am someone who does the hard things. I am someone who honors my future. Do not wait until your body starts falling apart to start taking care of it. It'll be too late by that point. Build strength now. Build stamina now. Build mobility now. Build that habit now, because the body you build today is going to become the body you live in later. And later is going to come so much faster than you think. Get started. If you're not working out at all, get started by just doing 20 minutes a day. Go for a walk that's 20 minutes. Go lift some weights for 20 minutes. Do some stretching for 20 minutes. Go do some yoga. Just start small. Habit number 1, I started training my body like it mattered, because it does. Habit number 2, I started eating like my future self was depending on me. Now, I'll tell you, a little up and down on this, but this habit changed my life for the better, not perfectly, and that distinction matters, because sometimes people hear eat better, they immediately think it's some kind of extreme diet. Like, I can't ever have sugar, or no pizza, no fun. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about making better choices more often. More fruit, more vegetables, more protein, more water, less junk, less mindless eating, and less using food as entertainment. Food is information for your body. It's going to affect your energy, your mood, your weight, your workouts, and your confidence. And it affects how you feel day to day. Now, again, I am far from perfect in this area, but I started realizing something. I could not keep asking my body to perform at a high level while constantly giving it low-level fuel. That doesn't work. You can get away with it for a while when you're younger. You can eat garbage. You can sleep poorly. You can skip workouts. And still, as you get older, your body's going to be sending you invoices. And those invoices come in the form of low energy, weight gain, inflammation, poor sleep, brain fog, and generally not feeling your best. I started getting more serious about what I was putting into my body. So I upped my protein. I started eating more whole foods. Luckily, my wife cooks healthy meals. I try to do the same. I eat more fruit and vegetables, more meals that actually support the life I want to live and the future I desire. And here's what I learned. Eating better is not punishment. It's just self-respect. It's saying, hey, listen, I matter. My energy matters. My health matters. My future matters. The people who love me deserve the best version of me, and I deserve to feel good in my own life. That's the part people miss. It's not about vanity. It's about stewardship. You've been given one body to carry through this life, just one. And if you want freedom in your 50s and beyond, your health matters. Because what good is financial freedom if you don't have the energy to enjoy it? What good is retirement if you feel terrible every day? What good are options if your body is constantly limiting what you can do? This is where health becomes wealth. Not in some slogan kind of way, in real life. Because when you feel better, you live better. When you live better, you lead better. And when you lead better, you impact the people around you in a better, more impactful way. Start simple. Add more protein. Add more fruit. Add more vegetables. Drink more water. Eat fewer things that come from a drive-through window. All these processed foods are making us sick. You don't have to become perfect. You just have to become more intentional, because small nutritional choices repeated over years becomes a completely different life. Habit number 2, I started eating like my future self was depending on me. All right. Habit number 3. I started saving aggressively and making money work for me in a different way. This third habit that changed my life was saving more money each year. And not just saving, but investing it. Making more money work for me instead of constantly working only for the money itself. This is from life experience. If you want freedom later, you have to stop spending every dollar now. At some point, I started realizing that a lot of people do not have money problems only because they don't make enough. People have money problems because they keep buying things they don't need with money they don't really have to impress people who are not even paying attention. It is a trap, and our culture pushes it so hard at us. Think about it. Every time you turn on the TV, there's a new car commercial. There's a new phone you have to upgrade to. There's new clothes on Instagram. Some model's wearing something you gotta have. There's a bigger house. There's a better vacation. More stuff all the time. All this consumerism. More subscriptions. More convenience. More lifestyle. And listen, I like nice stuff too. There's nothing wrong with it. So one of the biggest lessons I learned is most people want freedom, but they keep funding a lifestyle that keeps them trapped. That's what I'm really trying to say. And when I started saving more aggressively, it wasn't always easy. There was things that I wish I could have bought. There's things I wanted. There are moments where spending money would have felt really good, but I had to ask a better question. Do I want this thing now or do I want options later? And that question changed a lot for me because options are powerful. Options means you don't have to stay in one situation forever. It also means you can walk away from things that are no longer healthy. It means you can breathe. You can make decisions from wisdom instead of desperation. You are not constantly one emergency away from panic. That's the greatest freedom you ever want. And here's the beautiful thing about money when you handle it well. Time becomes your partner. Saving matters. Investing matters. Living below your means matters. Avoiding unnecessary debt matters. Not buying things to impress people matters, because money is not just money. It's stored effort. It's stored time, and it's your stored freedom. And the younger you are, the more powerful this habit can be. Because when you start early, you give your money something powerful. Time. Time can do a lot when you give it consistency. But listen, you can still spend intentionally. You can still save more. You can still reduce waste. You can learn. You can make better decisions. The point is not to live scared. The point is to live fully awake here, because one day your future self is going to say, hey, thank you for thinking about me. Or it's going to be like, hey, man, why did you leave me with this mess? And I wanted my future self to be grateful. I wanted to be able to retire younger and spend that time with my wife and my family and my grandkids and my stepdaughters. The more you put into that now, the better off you're going to be later. That's habit number 3. I started saving aggressively and making money work for me. All right. Habit 4, I became a lifelong learner. One thing that I want to interject here into this one was my wife's inspiration. No one has done more for my health and mindset than my wife. I started to become financially more responsible because of her. I started to save more because of her. I started to take care of myself because of her. And I also became a lifelong learner because of her. So that meant reading, studying, listening, and learning from people who are better than me, learning from the masters, learning from leaders, also watching mistakes people make, learning from that, and learning from life. This habit changed everything because it kept me growing. And here's something I deeply believe. The person who keeps learning will always have options. That is true in leadership. It is true in business. It is true in relationships. And it is true in personal growth. When you stop learning, your world will start shrinking. And you may not notice it at first, but slowly you become less adaptable, less curious, less relevant, less open. And eventually life starts changing around you while you stay stuck defending what you already know. This is very dangerous. The world does not stop changing because we stop learning. Your workplace is changing. Technology is changing. Leadership, communication, relationships, economy. If you want to stay effective, you have to keep growing. And one of the best things I ever did was become a better student of life. Not just in school, which I was a terrible student at school, but a student forever. Finally, I really had to accept that. I had to be more open-minded because for me to grow, I needed to better understand leadership. I needed to understand what motivates people. I needed to understand better communication, and I had to understand the mindset that is required for that. I wanted to understand what made some people keep growing and what kept other people stuck. And that learning became a huge part of who I am. It helped me become a better leader, a better communicator, a better coach, husband, etc. Because every great book, every great mentor, every great lesson gave me one more tool. And when life gets hard, tools matter. When leadership gets complicated, you need to know and be prepared how to handle it. When relationships get strained, that's when you're trying to build something meaningful. That's why I say this all the time. This is not merely a leadership theory podcast. It's a take action podcast, because learning is not just collecting information. If all you do is consume but never apply it, you're never going to grow. You're just collecting noise. So the habit is not just reading, the habit is applying. Read something and ask, how do I use this today? How can this make me better? How can this help me serve someone else? How can this help me lead myself? How can this help me lead others? That's where learning becomes transformation. Please hear this. Do not wait until you feel behind to start learning. Work on that skill now. Read that book now. Study that subject now. Ask better questions now. Find a mentor. Learn skills. Develop your communication. Build emotional intelligence. Learn how money works. Learn how health works. Learn how people work. Learn how leadership works now, because skills create options and options create freedom. All right. So that is habit number 4, becoming a student of life, becoming a lifelong learner. All right, so habit number 5, this is the thing that I think probably helped me the most, and that is I accepted total accountability for my life. I'm always going to be honest. There was a time in my life when I talked way bigger than I ever executed. I had so many great ideas. I had opinions. I had plans. I had things I was going to do. I could talk about what I wanted. I could talk about what should happen. I could talk about my potential. But nothing happened. Talking is easy. Execution is where the truth shows up. At some point, I had to stop blaming circumstances, stop waiting for perfect conditions, and stop acting like someday was going to magically do the work for me. I had to accept a hard truth. My life was my responsibility. Not everything that happened to me, but how I responded to it. How I grew, how I prepared, how I treated people, how I handled my body, how I handled my money, time, attitude, habits, all of that. That was on me. And when you first accept that, man, it feels like a lot. It's like, oh my God. But eventually it becomes freeing. There are people in this world, you've seen them, where they just can't make this switch. They can't take total accountability and responsibility for their life. And it's hard to watch. If my habits are my responsibility, then I can change them. Accountability is not shame. Accountability is power. It is the moment you stop auditioning for the life you want and you start building it. And I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. They want a better life, but they don't own the habits that will help them get there. They want more opportunities, but they don't want to own the fact that they're not learning, not reaching out, not developing, not taking action. Listen, it's very easy to talk big, but when you start accepting total accountability, your life begins to change because you stop waiting. You're going to stop making excuses. You're going to stop saying, I'll do it tomorrow. What you start saying is, what can I do today? What is one action I can take? What is one habit I can improve? What's one responsibility I can own? What's one promise to myself I can keep? And that's where momentum begins, not in hype and not in motivation. Let me give you this with all the love I can. Do not waste your years pretending you have more than you do. Do not waste your years talking about what you're going to do while your habits tell a different story. Do not waste your young years blaming people who are not responsible for building your future. Take ownership now, not later. Now. Because the sooner you accept accountability, the sooner your life starts moving in the right direction. So here's what I want you to notice about these 5 habits. They all compound. And the dangerous part is bad habits compound too. The question is whether your habits are compounding or not. If they are they compounding in your favor? Because every day your life is accumulating evidence. Every workout, every healthy meal, every extra dollar saved, every book you read, and every honest moment of accountability is the evidence. Evidence of who you are becoming, and eventually that evidence becomes your life. These are bricks. And over time, bricks become a house. The question is, what are you building? Are you building a life your future self will thank you for? So this is your leadership edge for the episode. Your habits are your leadership before your words ever are. People can hear what you say, but they believe what you consistently do. So as we bring this home, I want to give you a few reflection questions. Number 1, what habit are you practicing today your future self will thank you for? Number 2, what habit are you practicing today that your future self may have to pay for instead? Number 3, where are you talking bigger than you're actually executing? Number 4, what is one area of your life where you need to accept more accountability? And lastly, 5, what is one small discipline you can start doing today that would make your life better 5 years from now? Don't overcomplicate this. Just pick one of these habits: working out, saving more money, having total accountability, being a lifelong learner, or eating better. That's my challenge for you this week. Just pick one and move in that direction a little bit more. Read 10 pages, apologize to somebody, own the mistake, make the call, start the plan, take the step. Your future is not waiting for you someday. It's being shaped by what you do today. All right, so that is my episode for today. And if this podcast made a positive impact on you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And I truly appreciate a quick rating or review on whatever platform you hear me on. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next on the Leading Life Podcast. I'm Andy Zook, and I want you to lead with purpose, live with intention, and keep becoming who you were meant to be. And most importantly, go out and be the hero in somebody's story today. I will talk to you on the next episode. Have an amazing day. Bye.